Everybody. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use a certain tool that you could take with you and use anytime in your life when you have to do something complicated. And it's called a timeline. Now, you've probably heard of timelines before, maybe in social studies, when you're learning about history. A lot of people like to make timelines so that they can understand when things happened in history. But I will tell you that you can also use timelines to complete all kinds of different tasks. So for us, because our songs are kind of long and we want to have some interesting things happening, that takes planning. That's not just going to be something that you have happen by accident. It's going to take planning and some forethought. So I'm going to put a point right here, draw a line over, and put another point. And this represents the beginning of my song and the end of my song. And they measure it, the time, in something called measures. And my song is 64 measures, so I'm going to put a 64 there. That's the beginning. That would be like no measures. And to make organizing this timeline simpler, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a mark at about halfway, and I'm just going to do a little bit of quick mental math, and half of 64 would be 32. So I'm going to write that here. So now I have these key points, beginning, middle, and end of my timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to the song. And as I listen to the song, I'm going to make little marks on my timeline and write down the number of measures. And this is just my first listening of the song, and I'm marking down points in the song when something changes, when it sounds like, oh, that was kind of a significant point in the song, because, maybe they go from backup singers to the lead singer, or maybe the tempo of the song changes and suddenly it's faster or slower. It changes the mood. Whatever stands out to you, mark it down somewhere here on the timeline. It doesn't have to be exact or perfect. If something happens at 12 and you made your first mark here as 12, okay, well, that doesn't really look proportional, but who cares? This is just your first run through to try and get this information down. So I'm going to switch it over here. Now, you should, I think, be able to see my little timeline down here, and up here's my song. So I'm going to expand that a little bit so you can see better. And if you watch up here in the panel where you see the dancers, I'll get a dancer just to make this somewhat interesting to look at. You'll see the measures are marked up here, and then you'll be able to see when I mark on here anything that stands out to me is interesting. So let's take a listen. Okay, so as you can see on my timeline, I marked down a couple different points along the way that stood out to me, that sounded musically different or a little more interesting, and has potential to make some kind of, for me to make some kind of interesting change in my video at these points. Now, you might have different ideas about when those things happen or what things were interesting to you. maybe your timeline, if you made one also, wouldn't have matched mine if we're doing the same song. And that's okay. This is all just kind of like your creativity and your own impression of the song coming out. But these were the spots that stood out to me. So what I would do then is, on my second listen, I'm going to listen to the song again, and I'm going to make a note down here of what in the world even happened. Like, why did I write down 13? So, second listen, real quick. So you can see this part's just the music. Okay, and 13 is when the singer arrives. This, I think, is called the chorus. This was the high note. Here we have the singer just doing his thing. Okay, here comes 51. We're back to the chorus. That's why I marked that down. And I think we have chorus from here to the end. All right, so now that I have this information down, in the beginning it's just music, and then I think somebody's making one little like bop sound or something. Then the singer arrives, and the singer lasts from about measure 13 to 24. Then we get into the chorus. After that, he hits the high note. I'm not going to do an impression of it, but he hits the high note. And then somewhere in between there and there, around measure 40, the singer kind of comes back and arrives, the lead singer. And then you wind up with the chorus at 51. Each one of these points is a great time to switch up either your background or what your dancers are doing. These are opportunities to make it an interesting video to watch. Also, I would say when you look at this span right here from 24 to 37, that's an awfully long time to be watching the exact same thing over and over and over, just the dancers on repeat. So even though it's all just the chorus, it might be a good idea to do something in here to mix it up visually so there's something to see that holds your attention. So this is why a timeline can be such a great tool for you when you are planning out your project. Take a couple listens, write down when important things happen, listen a second time, be specific about what happens, and then you could do it a third time, a fourth time. You're probably going to listen to these songs a lot. You can start to mark down, like singer. Maybe I want over here, I'll make one more little line under here. Maybe during this time, I don't want any dancers. And then maybe when this happens, okay, so I want lead to appear. When the chorus comes, maybe I want to have some backups arrive. So I'll have backups appear. And in this big mix, right, or this big time period here where not much is happening, I could add some new moves. I might make notes here, like maybe at 30, I'll have new, I'll put BG to stand for background. And you can just make down or mark these things down that you want to have change as the song goes on. Like I said, this is called a timeline. It's a great tool for planning out anything complicated in your life. It doesn't just have to be this project. You can use this for other things too. So here's a useful tool for you, and here's one way you could use it to help accomplish something. Good luck.